Hi everyone. So I first off want to apologize because even though I went into a separate room so no one would bug me, the puppies have come in and are making little clicking noises. So I apologize, but this is really important and I felt like I needed to put this into words. This is a big deal. When I was a little girl, my dad was my hero. As a military soldier, he has been involved in every major conflict during his time of service. So, he did things with the Haitian conflict, and he did Desert Storm and Desert Shield, and he did his duty. And he was in the Coast Guard too, and he was out there training Marines and Army on boarding and things like that, and law enforcement. He saw things that humans shouldn't see. It's not like he was sitting behind a desk or anything. Dude legit saw so many horrors. But I was brought up and taught that there was no more important duty, nothing more honorable than serving your country and your community. There was no job that you were supposed to be humble, and nothing more honorable than sacrificing your life for freedom and our democracy. This is why when I was 17, I joined the military and followed his footsteps. I was so proud to be an American, to stand up anytime they ask for anybody that is in the service, to always wear red, white, and blue. And there was so much rallying around America and unity, and that was really humbling. I was in boot camp when September 11th happened, literally 4 weeks in, so I was halfway through, and it happened. So I was outside of, I didn't see a lot of the media, and I didn't even see the live coverage at all, hear anything. I was under a rock, basically. And in fact, I didn't even see the videos of what had happened until years later. But anyways, that's a story for another day. As a veteran, I know I personally wasn't in war. I am technically considered disabled veteran because I lost some of my hearing while I was in the military, and other things. But you still feel like you could have given more. I was the type of person that I wanted to be G.I. Jane and prove that women could do the same thing that guys can do, that we could fight for our country and be proud of the possibility of laying down your life for freedom. And you almost would stand up straighter knowing that you were doing your duty. In the Coast Guard, the motto is Semper Paratus, which means always ready. And we had to learn, we always repeated, what was it? It was honor, respect, and devotion to duty. So these things are things that I feel in the core of who I am. I am a patriot first. At least that's how I felt back then, because I felt like we had a purpose, and we were the honorable ones. I mean, this is before we knew about what Bush was doing and all of the wars. And of course, nobody wants to be involved in the wars. You just want the fighting to stop. And if fighting would help us get to peace, then that's what we were doing. Whether right or wrong, I don't know. At this point, I don't know. What I do know is that it makes you look back at the Constitution. Well, maybe not. I don't know. It made me look back at the Constitution. I mean, this is what our country was founded on, was these documents. So we get an idea of what people 200 and some odd years ago, how they foresaw this country. And I always felt like the Constitution was the rule of law, but the more I look into the writings of that time period, the more I think it's a little nuanced. It's supposed to be a guideline to help us try to stave off corruption. And I think we're failing that test. And I say that because of our political divide has led our country to this constitutional crisis, because we have people that we elected to fight for us. And instead, they're defending the corruption. It saddens me that though this administration will be impeached, at least in the House, and I wrote this before, obviously the vote was finalized. As of right now, he has been impeached, 2 articles of impeachment. And I have seen a few people already spinning that narrative that, oh, but why did they drop the Mueller report? Because they had nothing, blah, blah, blah. And my response back to them was, or he committed another crime, and they're still doing the other impeachment because they didn't drop it. It's just going on. They're waiting on the documentation and the things that they need. Like, he could get more articles of impeachment at this point. And he's doing more crimes. So if he stops doing the crimes, then they wouldn't have it. It's just like, I mean, they're already claiming victimhood, but I digress. Let me go back to my notes. But as I said, they're defending the corruption. And it just saddens me. These are the people we're supposed to look up to. They're supposed to represent our country first. They take that oath. That's what I did when I joined the military. I took an oath to my country that I was going to defend it from foreign and domestic. And then here we are. We have facts, and we have lawyers and law professors, people that spent their entire lives caring about what our Constitution says and digging deep into the, quote, sausage making of politics, which is a horrible thing. Maybe we should come up with a different idiom. But anyways, so we have all of this facts, and hell, they even have the people's support. The impeachment rallies are incredible, and all the people that went out and protested, I want to say that is one of the most patriotic thing you can do is, number one, to vote, and number two, to engage in political discourse, both with your family and online. But number three is to protest. And the reason why is because we, the people, govern this country. They are elected by us to do our will, not theirs, not their parties. It is our will. So let me get back to my notes. Unfortunately, many people are talking about the Senate will probably acquit, like the previous other two impeachments. Not because of evidence, but to obstruct the will of the people. And this is a huge danger we face. Our checks and balances work when they are used by honorable and moral representatives who are held accountable by their constituents. That's you and me. We hold them accountable. I know everybody is frustrated right now. Our divide has deepened, and those on the fringes are loud, and we are so tired, sick and tired of people not looking at the facts. They're pretending it doesn't exist. And how do you have a conversation with someone who's not even looking at the reports? They just trust whatever the media says, whether that be far left or far right. And we just want representatives that we can say are honorable and moral. And then I always hear people who say, but that's politics, right? That's what everyone does. As if that makes it right. Well, it doesn't. We're supposed to hold them to a higher standard. We expect more. When people are talking about, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, that's the freaking president. That person has a responsibility, an obligation to be up to snuff, to be able to make the important decisions. They have the nuclear codes. They're the ones that are debating on a worldwide scale for our interests. And a bully just makes us look like a laughing stock. No one takes us seriously because why would they? You're having someone who is inequipped, does not have the intellectual capacity to do the job that is needed to be able to dance the fine line of diplomacy. And yes, there are presidents, pretty much everyone who's made mistakes. I mean, there isn't a human alive that hasn't made a mistake, But that doesn't mean that we can give someone carte blanche. That means we need to continue to reaffirm the actual expectations we have of our representatives. I'm not okay with somebody who is gonna talk about grabbing people by the pussy. Whether or not they're actually advocating for sexual assault is another topic entirely. It's the fact that they thought that that was okay to say in the first place. I don't care if it's locker room talk. It's unacceptable. And I don't care what party you're in. It is not okay. And I will say, I have said shit that is uncouth, but there's a reason why I'm not in politics. I am not running for president. He should be held to a bigger and it just. Even my dogs agree. So, I digress. Let me get back. I need to stick to the script, right? But anyways, this is why I don't use scripts. I'm not very good at it. Anyone trying to sidestep this constitutional process must be voted out. And this is to stop the us versus them party politics. Our country's fate is dependent on active, knowledgeable civic engagement. You must vote. If you can march, get friends and family to join. Send letters and emails to your representatives. Apathy is harmful, and it harms our patriotic process. They are banking on apathy. They are banking on people that are too busy trying to survive than to pay attention on what's going on right now. And that you'll just blindly go about your day. Don't just tell people to read the transcripts. It's not a transcript. But you should read it. And while you're at it, read the Mueller report. Set aside your party stance, the bullet points that whatever media has. We all have biases, and that's okay. But by writing out the facts or doing that own research, you would be able to look at it without getting muddied in people's opinions and interpretations of what's going on. I just think that if you study the evidence, I believe you will do the moral and ethical actions that is needed to we need to rebuild America. Rebuild what made this country so great. And that was almost the naivete of that American dream that you could find a good job, be able to create family, whatever family that means to you. Have that picket fence if that's what you want. The 2.5 children or whatever. Or choosing not to do that. Being able to not worry about bills so that you can do the things that you really enjoy, like making music and art and studying the world and engaging in wonderful conversations with people and understanding cultures, or giving back to your community. There's just so many fantastic things in this world that people don't get to experience because they are one medical bill away from bankruptcy. They are one missed paycheck from being completely upside down. And they are just one car repair from not being able to pay for their utility bills or their food. I don't have all the answers, but I just want a country I could be proud of again. And that's not going to happen without people like you stepping up and calling the representatives and telling them that you will vote out anybody that votes no on this impeachment process. Because the evidence is there if you care enough to actually read it. So I guess that's it. And I'm sorry that this is a little bit of a bum, but I do believe that we can repair everything that has gone wonky in the last couple years. We have so much potential. And maybe, again, it's me being naive, but I just feel like we could do it. Enough people care. We just got to get out there and vote. So, I'll see you out there. I'll be marching with my signs, supporting you from the keyboard if I have to, if I can't make it out there, because I'm working 2 jobs, trying to carve out my little slice of the American dream. And I'll write and continue to do my essays that explain why we think, as a liberal, that you can be a patriot and fight for what's right. And that's not supporting the president regardless of what he does. That's looking at the evidence, doing your civic duty, and getting out there and voting. So, do that, okay? All right. I love you all. Thanks for listening to my rambling ons, and I will see you next time. Peace.